This is the kind of day when you want to turn to the pros, and I think Craig Crawford fits the bill. This is a guy who's written about Congress for 25 years, and what's going on in Washington, especially with Congress right now, is as bizarre as anything we've ever seen. By the way, he's a columnist for CQPolitics.com. Craig, good to see you. Have you ever seen anything like this?
Well, I've seen a lot of food fights on Capitol Hill, but bullets? We go back to the Clinton impeachment trial, Iran-Contra with Reagan, Carter gave away the Panama Canal. Those were big, big fights. There was an incident, though, when Harry Blackmun, a Supreme Court justice who wrote Roe v. Wade, someone shot through the window of his house, and the bullet landed in his couch when he and his wife were sitting there. I talked to him about that one time. He kind of joked. He said, yeah, and the insurance company didn't cover it either.
But the thing with this case is there seems to be a lot of finger pointing now, and it's not just a matter of what's going on. Look, there's always going to be crazies. There's crazies no matter what happens. In every arena, they come in all different heights and colors and shapes and sizes. But in this case, what you have is at least one party prevalently calling the other party out for instigating these situations. And these are some of the examples they use. As a matter of fact, Roger, roll this tape so our viewers can see what we're talking about.
In America, we must never confuse the social safety net with the slippery slope to socialism.
We don't want to be like Russia. We don't want to be like China.
Are you so arrogant that you think you know what's best for the American people? Are you so ignorant that you are oblivious to the wishes of the American people?
My colleagues are celebrating the birth of a great new entitlement program today. Only they see dependency on the federal government and the death of freedom as a cause for celebration.
Hell no, you can't!
The death of freedom, government takeover, words like socialism. Are the Democrats wrong or right when they say that those things instigate people to act?
I think there's some truth in what they're saying. There's also some truth in Republicans saying that Democrats are taking political advantage of it. But it does take it to a new category, doesn't it? This call for a revolt, basically, and saying that this whole take our country back thing, that someone has taken our country away from us. In the American spirit, that calls for arms. And you look at some of the other things that I noticed today. I just now noticed what Sarah Palin had said in her tweet, where she said after he signed the bill, don't retreat, reload.
Yeah, in fact, I'm just going to interrupt you for a minute because, you know, we collect this kind of stuff on this show. That's why we call it Rick's List. And we keep a list of all the folks who are relevant to stories, who are talking about these things. Look at this tweet from Sarah Palin. There it is. This happens to be exactly what you're talking about now. Common sense conservatives and lovers of America don't retreat. Instead, reload. And then she tells them to go to her Facebook page. Let me let you continue your thought after I read that to the viewers.
And check out the Facebook page, too. The map on it has gun sites on the Democrats she wants to defeat.
But look, Craig, we just did a piece with Boehner, and we represented both sides of the story, obviously. And Boehner says it's like political satire. I don't mean to say that I want the congressman to be dead. I mean he's a dead man, as in politically.
I know, and I think we shouldn't overblow it, you know, that this rhetoric directly caused these threats and some of this violence. But I think it's come time for maybe Congress needs nap time like they have in kindergarten. And everybody just calm down. I think what both sides need to do at some point is come out together, Democrats and Republicans, and denounce this stuff.
Well, it's an interesting point. And by the way, here's something else. To be fair, whenever we show one tweet, I like to show the other. Let's go to the other side now. Here's Representative Steve Israel responding to the reload tweet from Sarah Palin that we follow. Reload, ? Sarah Palin, USA. Is your choice of words insightful or ignorant? So bang, bang, punch, counterpunch, cross, parry, whatever you want to call this in boxing terms. Let me ask you about something that I was impressed with. I was getting ready to go to sleep last night, and I decided to check one more thing. I read your stuff. I read, I think, Drudge, and I picked up another. And I found an article, I'm not sure where it was, I think it was on Politico, that said that Jim Webb and Lindsey Graham, in an act of defiance, were not willing to stop talking to each other because they wanted to show that things can get done if two guys from opposite sides of the aisle sit down and hash things out. I was I was impressed by that.
Yeah.
Why isn't there more of it?
Well, I personally think we'd be better off if Jim Webb was emperor. I like the guy a lot, and he carries a gun, by the way. But yeah, that's what we've come to, where civility is an act of defiance.
Wow! Think about that. Just stop and think about what you just said for a moment. Yeah. You and I are talking about a news story today because two guys got along.
Yeah, yeah. For this coverage, you need some of those graphics from the old Batman TV show. You know, pow, zoom, kapow. But you know, the political underpinning here, Rick, is both sides are fighting for independent voters right now, and Democrats in particular, because they're losing independent voters in these congressional races by about 10 percentage points. And one way traditionally they've always gotten those voters back is when they think the Republicans have gone crazy and are going to take over and take the country in some right-wing nutty direction.
Yeah. No, the Dems are already trying to collect money on this thing, right? They're trying to collect campaign funds.
Democrats are taking political advantage of this. I don't doubt that a bit. That letter from Tim Kaine shows that, and I don't blame them. And traditionally, this is one of the ways they've gotten those independent voters back.
It's the American way.
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate it, Craig. Good conversation as usual.
You bet.
See you the next time.
All right.